Hi everyone. Today, another list, and this is from uh, July 2023, Top 50 Progressive Rock Artists. I have not looked at the list yet, and there's one particular band I'm hoping they should be on the list, but you never know with these lists. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Osmonds show up on this list the way things are going. I can already see Genesis. Yes, of course. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Frank Zappa. All right, here we go. Yeah, Manfred Mann's Earth Band. I haven't heard a lot by them. Of course, there's Blinded by the Light, which was a huge song for them, cover version of a Bruce Springsteen song. Really, really good, of course. And I have checked out a little bit of their early 70s albums and sounded pretty good. And of course, Manfred Mann was even around in the 60s, so very talented artist and band. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Haken or Haken? I've never even heard of him. What am I missing? Let me know. I've never heard of this band. Leprous? Is that how you pronounce it? This is going well so far. And I am a prog rock fan, but I guess I haven't heard every band in existence. Grobschnitt. Straubs, yeah. I've only heard one of their albums. I had it on vinyl back in the 70s. Hero and Heroine, I believe. And it was a pretty good album. Procol Harum, yeah. I know, so, there's my buddy Glenn Kellaway from the Basement. He did a video recently saying, like, these genres, especially with progressive rock, there's sometimes that is a band really progressive rock, like Procol Harum. But I guess, at least early on, there was, progressive elements in their music. Great band, I love Procol Harum. All right, Steve Hillage, I've heard of. He was in the band Gong at some point. I haven't heard very much of his solo work, though. Henry Cow, I've heard of, but once again, I've never really checked out their music. Area, not familiar with this band. Curved Air, I've heard of, but once again, I have not heard their music. But yeah, I think they were around in the early 70s. Focus, yes, great band. Of course, there's Hocus Pocus. I'm not sure which channel I'll post it on, but I'm putting together 12 of my all-time favorite live performances. And Focus is in one of the videos. Goblin, I've heard of, but have not heard the music. The great Steve Hackett, yes. I've heard some of his solo music, and it's fantastic. And of course, all of his great guitar work with Genesis. Coheed and Cambria, I've heard of. Hawkwind, I love Hawkwind. I've heard of them. I have some of their albums. Hall of the Mountain Grill, Space Ritual, Warrior on the Edge of Time. And of course, Lemmy from Motorhead used to play bass in the band. There he is there in the very back. Marillion. You look back, the kind of over the top silly makeup, just like, with Peter Gabriel, I guess. It looks a little ridiculous these days, but a great band. My favorite album of theirs is Clutching at Straws. Yeah. The final album with Fish. Eloy, yes, I've got one Eloy CD. I would like to get more of their albums. Really good band. Ocean is the one I have. Supertramp, once again, I guess they were kind of, at least with Crime of the Century, they were kind of prog rock in a way. Yep, great band. Vangelis. Yeah, I have the one album he did. Well, he's done more than one album, I think, with John Anderson, but I do have one of them, which is very good. Yes, Nectar. That was the band I was hoping would be in the list. Yeah, I've known of Nectar for years and years and years, but just in the last year or so, I've become a huge fan of this band. Remember the Future, Recycled, many, many great albums. Nope, not heard of this Italian band. Not even going to attempt to try and say that. Tangerine Dream, I've heard a little bit of their music. Yeah. Renaissance, I've heard some of their music. I think I've done a song reaction on Patreon a few months back too. Traffic. Yeah. Lots of talent in that band. Yeah, Porcupine Tree. I like Porcupine Tree, but I actually prefer Steven Wilson's solo career a lot more. Soft Machine. I've heard a little bit of their music. It didn't really float my boat, is what they say. The Moody Blues, yes. I've loved them for years, but once again, kind of similar to Nectar, I've really have a new appreciation for this band in the past year or so. Their first 7 albums are just amazing. Ange, I've never heard of. Or Lee Ormy. The Orm. Magma. I did a song reaction on Patreon a few months back. It was pretty good. Top 20. Opeth, I've heard of. I've done song reactions. Kansas. Yeah. Carry On, My Wayward Son. Dust in the Wind. Very talented band. PFM. I had, in the 70s on vinyl, I had PFM Cook. Great band. Can, yeah. Yeah, the only album I have is Tango Mago? Or Tago Mago. Double album, and it's crazy, but I love it. And I would definitely like to get more of their albums. Yeah, I was never a big fan of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I did enjoy, brain salad surgery back in the day, but And Lucky Man is a great song, but other than that, didn't really get into them too much. Mike Oldfield, of course, Tubular Bells, great album. The Mars Volta. Yeah, on Patreon, I did a recent song reaction to one of their newer songs, and it was like a pop song. It was good, but it was not my kind of thing. Vandergraaf Generator. I've heard a little bit of their music. Caravan, yep, great band. I know my buddy Glenn Kellaway from the Basement is a huge fan of them. Gong. Yeah, I've heard some of their music. It's pretty crazy. Top 10. Tool. Of course, Morris Gautreaux, one of my viewers and patrons, is a huge fan of Tool. I believe Tool is his favorite band, and I like them too, but yep. Camel, the Snow Goose I've heard, a couple of other things. Yeah, like that the video I was talking that I saw recently with Glenn Kellaway, he was saying that, you know, Jethro Tull isn't really a prog rock band. I mean, they did do Thick as a Brick, which was a parody, you know, of a prog rock album, but yeah, they're not really progressive rock. I don't think. But they're a great band. Look how happy they are. All right. Yeah, Gentle Giant. The one album I owned by them is Freehand, which was great. Probably one of the most talented bands ever. Number 6, of course, Canada's very own Rush. I'm curious what's going to be number 1. Because it probably is going to be Yes, but it might be Genesis. There we go. Yeah, Frank Zappa. He does so many different genres, but I guess, yeah, he's done some prog rock in his day. Big fan. Pink Floyd. Yeah, early on, I guess they did some prog rock with Echoes and a few other things. Number 3. Wow. I don't like that. Yes should be number 1. Yeah, I love Yes. Number 2, King Crimson and Genesis. Ooh, Genesis is number 2. Yeah. I love the Peter Gabriel years and some of the Phil Collins years too. Once again, such a talented band. And number 1 has got to be King Crimson. Yeah. Yep, great band. I have In the Court of the Crimson King. I want to get Red on CD. I don't have it at the moment. And a couple of others. But still, I think I would have Yes at number 1. And that is it. So yeah. What are some of your favorite prog rock bands? And do you think, you know, some of these bands, I don't know if they're necessarily prog rock, like Jethro Tull. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a comment below and like the video and subscribe. That's hard for me to say. Subscribe. Bye.